The stunning development coming just after both sides rested and before closing arguments begin. An about-face from prosecutors that could shake up the jury deliberations. Extra has obtained this letter from the government sent to the judge, saying it will remove these allegations for jurors to consider: attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. They were thought to have been cornerstones of the prosecution's case.
Sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
The U.S. attorney laid out the allegations against Diddy in this blockbuster news conference when he was arrested last September.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
The question now, why are prosecutors taking this last-minute action?
This isn't something that is unheard of, but I wouldn't call it entirely common.
Former prosecutor and Courtroom Confidential host Josh Ritter.
They're trying to make sure that they go into closing arguments and instruct the jurors on what they feel are their strongest counts. I think it's actually a good strategy by the prosecution because they're going to give the jurors the easier questions in front of them rather than having them debate things that might be weaker.
The decision comes after a string of star witnesses. Former Diddy employee Capricorn Clark tearfully testified that she was held against her will and had to take a lie detector test to prove she hadn't stolen Diddy's jewelry. Cassie Ventura told the jury that she was forced to stay in a hotel for a week to hide her injuries after Diddy had assaulted her. That incident, a different one from that disturbing video first uncovered by CNN.
Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor.
The arson charge involved the alleged firebombing of rapper Kid Cudi's car.
What are you expecting today?
He testified he believed Diddy had thrown a Molotov cocktail into his Porsche back in 2012 while he was dating Cassie.
I think it's a little premature to say that this somehow shows that the prosecution is questioning the value of their case. I think it's more about them trying to streamline things and bring a simpler case in front of the jury with an easier question for them to answer.
The prosecution's case lasted 30 days and involved 34 witnesses. The defense, less than 30 minutes and 0 witnesses.
I think that the defense could make the argument that, listen, we didn't even have to call witnesses. They will remind the jurors that the burden always rests on the prosecution and that they could have just sat on their hands during this entire trial, that it's up to the prosecution to prove that to them and not up to the defense to prove his innocence.
Team Diddy has agreed not to bring up the situation in Iran in closing arguments. TMZ had reported they were going to delve into that as a way of pointing out the government has bigger fish to fry.